At the age of 40, I left corporate America and decided to follow my passion. So I worked my way up in this company to a six-figure salary. So the audacity of me to think I could leave that salary, do something different, panic attacks, just going to work. I couldn't reconcile it. Like emotionally, I was just like, this is devastating to me.
Right.
And embarrassing.
But you didn't let it stop you. Okay.
What y'all know about that? Canned salmon. Don't even come from me. Canned salmon is how you make salmon croquettes. Salmon patties. That's how you make it. Canned salmon.
So let's just go ahead and get into it. Hey, Sugar. We are in the kitchen today with celebrity chef Lisa Brooks. Tell the Sugars, who are you?
Chef Lisa Brooks. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am the CEO and executive chef of Heart and Soul Personal Chef Service. That's one thing I am.
That's one thing. That's one thing.
That's one thing I am. At the age of 40, I left corporate America and decided to follow my passion, which was cooking. And I did so in grand fashion, I might say.
And that I'm glad you gave us the perfect segue into what I wanted to ask you. But before we get into that, now you're not expecting me to help, so I ain't.
No.
Okay, I just get to sit here and watch.
You look pretty.
It's
wonderful. Sit there and look pretty.
Wonderful. So you perfect segue. You were not always Chef Lisa Brooks. You were in corporate America. What did you do in corporate America?
I worked for a healthcare IT company, and I managed technical support call centers all over the country.
Gotcha. How long did you do that?
18 years.
18 years.
Right. This is a whole nother
life.
And I've been in chef 14 years. Like I think about it now, I'm like, I have not worked a job in 14, worked a job.
Yeah, worked for somebody
14
else.
years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So almost, I'm soon to surpass the amount of time I was in there, But yeah.
So you mentioned you had a passion for cooking. What what reignited that passion for cooking? What made you say, you know what, I need to get back to my passion? Because you said you left in grand fashion.
It was about the fact that I was unhappy where I was. Like, I got to get out of here, because I was stressed. My body was telling me, it was just too stressful. I was working on call all the time, and I was having migraines and back spasms and panic attacks just going to work. Going to bed at night, couldn't sleep, insomnia. For like 4 years, I had insomnia. And my medical doctor was like, if you don't change something, you're going to have a stroke, heart attack, something. Like, you have something that has to change. And so I was like, God, you got to get me out of here. But I had no idea, like, what else I could do. Single black mom, worked my way up in that company. So I went to school undergrad, but I didn't complete it. So I didn't have a degree. So I worked my way up in this company to a six-figure salary. So the audacity of me to think I could leave that salary, do something different. So it was a scary decision, granted. And the thought process of thinking, like, what can I do? It didn't even cross my mind cooking. I've just been cooking my life. Honestly, Dr. T, I did not realize it was a gift or a talent. I just thought, I took it for granted, like, everybody can cook, right? Everybody, mom and them taught them how to cook, right?
No.
I know that now.
Everybody can.
I know that now. No. So I was crying in the bathroom one day, and God told me to cook. He said, cook. And I was like, say what now? Wait, what are you talking about? I mean, of course, me and God had several more conversations.
And that's why I was going to, like, to have worked up or worked up the ladder in the company to a lucrative career, because you said that was six figures back 14 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So now that's
I started there in 1997. That's that company.
That's a different,
as a receptionist,
different six figures than what six,
That's six figures is now. Right, exactly.
Now that's
right.
That's quite a bit. So
to not have a college degree too.
So talk to me about you mentioned fear, but what other emotions were you battling in trying to, I guess, grapple with?
Guilt. Guilt also. When you're kind of tied to these companies, I mean, you feel like you owe them something. You feel like What will my people do? What will my employees do if I leave? So they'd be just fine. Look, they'd be just fine.
They'll be just fine.
Because they will lay you off in a heartbeat. I mean, nobody's irreplaceable, right? Beyonce taught us that, right? So
you must not know about me.
You know what I'm saying?
Another you and a me.
So the guilt, like, oh, I'm leaving my folks, and what are they gonna do? And So I dealt with that a little bit, and fear. So that's really the main emotions. And then it started to be excitement, honestly.
Well, wait, hold on. Before we get into the you unpacking excitement, I'm excited about what's going on in this bowl. You got to see what's happening in this bowl.
Y'all don't know nothing about this right here.
So I saw the onions and the celery.
Yeah.
But then did I see? I don't know. You were giving away your secrets. Deal.
Yeah, let's start with the cookbook right here. It's right here. So this is my recipe right here. See.
This is your published cookbook.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so if we want to make this, we just got to go get the cookbook.
I mean,
Dill, and what was that you just sprinkled in?
I put celery, salt, black pepper. I know I'm going off the recipe.
Because you're the chef. I mean, us little folk have to follow the recipe. Right, you.
I put onion, celery, salt, and there's also celery in there, an egg, and the canned salmon, and I'm about to put some breadcrumbs in here. I don't put a whole lot of breadcrumbs, but I'm gonna put a little bit. I want to show you something because this we had some arguments online when I was cooking these on my TikTok channel. Okay, see these little bones right here in the canned salmon. I'm like, you need bones in here? Yes, because look at this.
They smell.
They just look at this. They totally disintegrate. That's calcium right there, honey. You break all that down, and all the skin just evaporate. People are like, you don't take the skin. No. The skin is flavor and the bones is calcium, and they just disintegrate. They honestly disintegrate. Honestly, when I was a little kid, if I found these little round bones, if I found one in my salmon patty, I thought I was lucky that I found one. For real. But they just
that's why you up because you thought they was lucky.
I mean,
as a kid.
Yeah.
Now I would have.
People learn, yeah, they be like,
had I been included in the, I would have said the same thing. But now leave the skin in. We can leave the skin in,
but you gotta make sure when you're mixing it up, you're breaking those bones.
Breaking the bones.
Yeah. Because trust me, I don't do bones now. I only eat filet flounder because I do not do bones. When people eat croak and all that stuff, I don't do no bones in those.
But you I'm telling you,
it's not the same.
Just smash the bones up. We all good to go. Okay. So that's our cooking for today because I would have been on the same remove the bones. But I just learned something today. I hope you did too, Sugar. Okay, let's keep this conversation going. So, you said the excitement. So after the guilt, came the excitement, and what excitement for
just like I really was trusting God for the first time. I never knew what that was like. I honestly didn't. I'm a preacher's kid, but listen. That was I was 39 years old.
Gotta preach. Hold on. Pause. I want to make sure we missed that. You were a preacher's kid.
Facts.
But here at almost 39 years old was the first time that you were stepping out on faith and trusting God.
Yeah. When people would say "let go" and "let God," it was just a phrase to me. I didn't know what that meant. I don't think a lot of people know what that means until you do it. Like for real, until you really have to do it. Right? It's just something nice to say. But when you literally, it's time to exercise that faith. So you all out there by yourself, and God asking you to jump, and everybody else like, "Ooh, girl, you gonna jump?" And I'm like, "Well, he said to jump." They're like, "Okay." I asked this old lady at church because I was going back and forth for a minute, like, I kept wanting to get extra approval from people. And I asked this old lady at church,
seeking validation,
and I said, "Yeah, God told me this." This was after church, like we. She said, "Honey, you either believe or you don't." She turned around and just walked away. She wouldn't listen to none of my foolishness, honey. She said, "You believe or you don't." She just turned around and walked away. I was like,
"Well, I love a church."
Well, damn. Okay. Yep, that's true. So I decided to believe him. His job was provision. My job was to focus on my purpose, and his job was to focus on providing for me.
Did y'all catch that, Sugar? She said her job was, and I just kind of in my head, I just said obedience. Your job was to follow the instruction. His job was to
provide for me. Yeah. I wasn't to be concerned about the money and the steps and how it was going to work. And he didn't show me all the steps. He just he literally gave me a vision of like me being a little kid jumping into my dad's arms in the pool, knowing, I mean, I can't swim at all. I just trust my father completely. He gave me that vision, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I have to taste this. You gotta taste. You got it before you're gonna fry up a whole batch, and you don't know what that tastes like if it's seasoned well.
That's a good point.
I ain't worried about that little bit of raw egg, and I ain't worried about that.
So what I would normally do is pick the boat. Okay, it smells.
But I can't teach people that part.
It smells. Yeah, it smells like I just, Right. Okay, see, I told y'all, I just don't like cooking. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
So my next question to you.
Yeah.
All right. So we've left the lucrative, job. We got the confirmation, from God. We understand it is His to provide and ours to obey. And did you ever think about, once you took the step, did you ever think about going back?
Absolutely never.
You did?
Not once, ever. I was so free. Do you know what it feels like to be free?
I do now.
After you have been, not captive, I mean, that's a little dramatic, but
yeah,
you're trapped.
Yeah.
You're trapped. And when you taste the freedom and you realize, oh my God, like this, because He did everything He said He was going to do. He provided. I mean, as soon as I moved to Charlotte, or actually I was looking for an apartment here to move here, because this is where the culinary schools were. I was up in Chapel Hill. And so I came to look for an apartment. This is in April 2010. And the guy who showed me the apartment, we just chit-chatting while he's showing the apartment. And I told him I'm going to be a personal chef. I'm moving here, going to culinary school. He said, oh, me and my wife are looking for a personal chef. And I was like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? All right, brother. I'm going to lease the apartment. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. He's like, no, I'm going to have my wife call you. I was like, yeah, all right. Right. 2 weeks later, this woman calls me. She's like, hey, yeah, you met my husband, blah, blah, blah. We want to hire you as our personal chef. I'm sorry, what? Ain't met me, ain't tasted a morsel of food, nothing. She ain't seen my face. She said, yeah, I said, you realize I'm not even moving until May 20th. She said, that's fine, we'll wait. How is that not God? Can anybody explain that to me? Who does that happen to?
Well, right. and
hired me. So I moved to Charlotte May 20th, May 22nd, that Monday. I cooked for them. I cooked their lunches and dinners. Husband and wife. I cooked their lunches and dinners. I worked for them for over 18 months, cooking their meals, lunches and dinners for the week. I'll go on Mondays, cook their meals for the week, leave them packaged up, and that was my first
client as a personal chef.
Right.
Mind you, you hadn't even started culinary school yet.
Facts.
Oh wow!
I literally moved that Saturday, and on May 20th and May 22nd, that Monday, I was cooking for them.
And that just shows that when you are doing things God's way, He will guide. This order my steps. He will order your steps. He will, show kind of that next step, for you. And what you were talking about, that freedom that you felt as to why you didn't, go back. How I see it is that's what it feels like when you are really functioning in your purpose.
Absolutely.
There's a lightness. There's a ease. There's a it's like breathing. Like we don't think about like, oh my God, I have to take my next breath.
Right.
We don't think about it. But when you are really moving and functioning in your purpose, it just, and not that it's always easy. Not that not at all. Be hurdles, but the way
but it wasn't easy in corporate either. That part. It wasn't easy there either.
You got to pick your heart.
Pick your heart.
You're either going to walk through the hard that is refining you, that's shaping you, that's preparing you for what it is that you are to be walking in and further developing your purpose, or you're going to pick the hard of being out of alignment.
Exactly.
And doing stuff your own way in your own way.
There ain't no end to sight to that hard. There ain't no end to sight to that hard.
That's the hard that keeps on being hard. That's the hard that doesn't get easy. It just keeps on going.
And that's when people lose hope.
That's
when they lose hope.
And that takes me to something else I wanted to ask you. So as you were making this shift from corporate America to the kitchen, okay, what other shifts did you have to make? What other, that could be mental, emotional, spiritual. What other shifts did you have to?
I mean, I started taking self-care really seriously at that point. I started walking. I started, I just started taking care of myself in general. Like that's what the freedom allowed me to do. I wasn't bogged down in stress, bogged down in worry.
So you had the time to think about, what do I like? What do I want to do? What do I need right now? Let's go do it.
Right. Yeah. I just spent a lot of time in just reflection, and I journaled a lot. Everything that I journaled as far as what I wanted to do in that period of time. I mean, every single thing.
You do know you speak in my language.
I know.
Self-care, journaling, goal map,
yes. Because you look back on it and it's like, I did all of these things. I did them all. You look back and it's like, I did everything.
Because it turns into a roadmap, right? So if you're at the start of it, and of course it's scary, you're not certain, you may feel some guilt about it, or the people around you, like you said, girl, why are you doing that? Like, they don't get it. They can't see your vision. But if you are doing these things, writing it out, having your journal, having your plan, it becomes a roadmap that then you can encourage yourself and say,
absolutely.
Okay, no, because when I first moved here, I had that one client. So then another one has come. Okay, nope, I can finish school. Nope, I can, do this. And I'm pretty sure that's what gave you the oomph to be able to start Heart and Soul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Heart and Soul pretty much started with that client.
With that client.
Yeah, because I'd already been kind of planning it and thinking about it. This is how I'm going to do it. When I already start building the website, I was always thinking about it. How things are going to, like how I was going to brand it or what it was going to be. I had just discovered the concept of a personal chef. I had never heard of that before, ever. And then the research, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I totally can do this,
So you started getting your vision for it.
Right.
Long before it actually manifested.
Exactly. And, I mean, that's what I spent from that January 2010 when I got the revelation.
Yeah.
To the May. So it's just 5 months from the time I got the revelation until the time I moved.
Yeah.
It was just 5 months.
Wow.
And school was starting in August. Now, keep in mind, I'm still working the job because I was working remote, right? So my plan was to work till July 15th. The school started August 1st. July 15th, I give my 2 weeks notice, and I'm out of there, right? Walk away.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
That was the plan. Did it go according to plan?
It did not go according to plan.
It did not go according to plan. That's usually...
That's my plan. That was my plan. Let me tell you what his plan was.
Speak on it.
So July 9th, 6 days prior to the day I was going to do my 2 weeks notice, I got laid off with full pay for 14 months. I think it was one month for every year you've been there, something like that. It was crazy. And 18 months worth of health care paid for, all the things. Now, this is 2010, so this is when stimulus and we went through this big recession.
Yeah,
right?
That was after the big fall of 2008.
Absolutely. Which I had real estate in that time, so I had to file bankruptcy in 2009, right? Which was devastating to me, right? Devastating to lose my credit score and all that stuff.
Yes.
But I had to. Why? Because I had that job, I had that money, and I had all these credit cards, and I had all this debt. I was paying the bills. My credit score was high, but I had a bunch of debt. I would never be able to walk away and go to culinary school had I not filed for bankruptcy in 2009. That was all pre-done.
Oh my God!
What I thought was a terrible,
embarrassing thing was the setup.
The setup, honey.
Is that listen? But no, that is so good.
Yes,
and to hear you say it, because a lot of times we are afraid of taking the step. And notice I said step, not leap. You had a plan, you had thought it out, and that's not all the time. We won't be able to, for people that's like me, I want to plan it all out and know exactly what. That's not realistic either.
Right.
But it's also not realistic to just be like, Geronimo, and you haven't thought about
because faith without what
works is dead.
Right.
So we have to
do your part.
Exactly. So I'm loving to hear you say that you thought it out, you had a plan, you tackled your fear, you tackled the guilt. I'm gonna do this, all right. And even in that, what could have felt like a failure, what could have felt like
at the time it did. At the time it did feel like it. And I couldn't reconcile it. Like emotionally, I was just like, this is devastating to me.
Right.
And embarrassing.
But you didn't let it stop you.
No.
That's the thing. Like we can feel it, like, oh, this hurts. Oh, this. But that's what I mean when I say it didn't feel like a failure in the sense of, oh my God, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to go forward. I'm supposed to just stop right here.
At that point, I was in my answer, kind of, right? In the moment of the bankruptcy, it felt like the end of the world. So you have to push past when you don't have an answer yet, and you still feel like it is the end of the world. That's
where I was going. You took it right where I was going. At that place where you can't see what's happening, and you can't. And if I can just be real transparent, that never stops. Because we have had those moments, and, you know what I'm saying, in our career, in our
yes.
And just because we had it, what did you say? This was back in 2010,
2009 when I filed bankruptcy. 2010 is when I made this transition.
When you made the transition, so
we're debt free because of the bankruptcy.
Right. We're up the road, and God will come and tap you on the shoulder, and say, "T. I need you to step again. I need you to step again." And it's like,
it's gonna be a little bit bigger step, a little bit wider, a little bit further.
It's gonna cause you to stretch. It's gonna cause you to, so when people start to feel that apprehension, most of the time we are conditioned to think that means that there's something wrong. When really that's what we should be leaning in. Because that's where growth happens. That's where the magic happens. That's where the business flourishes. That's where all the opportunities come is in that. And so I don't want you to think, Sugar, as you're hearing Chef Lisa say this, that, oh, that happened in 2010 and she never had to stretch again, or that she never had to stretch again, or that she never had to
you got to stretch
that fear
more and more. And like, it's like, so the test gets a little bit, you as you grow, as you mature, it's like, because it's still got to feel like a stretch to you.
Exactly.
So I'm much more mature in my faith walk at this point. So now when he's asking me, okay, that business was you closed that up nicely, and now I'm asking you to go and
do this new
thing.
Yes.
I'm like, but I have my reputation over here, and I was already up at the top over here,
and I have to now go back to be a student.
You know what I mean?
Learn. Okay. Go get another degree. Okay, wait, I'm supposed to come off and then do it. And again, that's why I brought that up, because recently God tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Come on, social media all together." Excuse me, sir. Do you know how? And hold on,
you just got in the groove of it.
I just got the groove of it. Lord, we built it. We just had the sugar part of it. Stop. Think about it. Like, wait a minute. What do in order for him, one thing has to end, though, in order for the next door to open. And I think that's the thing that we miss, and why your story is so compelling to me, because it's like people look at, oh, Food Network and Celebrity Chef and this and this and this, and don't realize, what I'm saying, all of the hell and high water you had to walk through, not necessarily in the external, but even in the internal.
Absolutely.
In order to get to, this place.
Absolutely.
You want to
skip past the seed planting season and go straight to the harvest season. That's not how it works. If you see somebody else in their harvest season, please know.
I'm going to take it even back before the seed planting. You got to till that ground. You got to get that plow and break the ground up even before you get to planting some seeds. Like, if we throw some seeds on some ground that ain't been tilled, it's just going to sit there. They're not going to germinate. They're not going to...
You said something right there.
But that's where the hurt is. That's where the hard part is tilling the ground. And again, I am a Southern belle, but I know nothing about farmer planting, none of that. But from what I've heard, when you're tilling the ground and the ground is hard, and breaking it up, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes sweat. It takes tears. It takes endurance. It takes consistency.
Yes.
To get that ground to break up. And then even with that, now you got to come and water. Now you got to come and fertilize. Now you got, and it may be
you got to do all this.
It may be a good 6 months before you actually start to see some fruit. But we getting taken out because we like, ain't no fruit.
Right. Exactly.
And ain't no fruit. So we're quitting when really we should be
digging in, like leaning in, getting the work done.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So now as a seasoned chef, haha, get it? Seasoned. Haha.
Yeah. Pun intended.
Right, pun intended. Okay. So now as a seasoned chef, and now just kind of looking hindsight, everything that you walked through, everything, all the ways that you've seen God move, all of the valleys and the mountains and, everything. What would you say are the top 3 things that you would attribute your success to?
Oh my goodness!
I know I'm putting you right on the spot with it. That's you
should have sent me that yesterday.
That's why I did.
Yeah, right. You want me to be right
tough. Like,
so the 3 things that I would attribute
the top 3 things that you would attribute your success to.
Okay, so I have to say the first thing is my faith, because without that, without the belief in the willingness to let go of my own, my own thoughts, my own ways, my own ideas, my own whatever. Without me being just obedient to what I was hearing and all that, then none of this would have happened. So the faith is number 1. The second is the works. It is the actual, doing the research, doing the hard part. I did go to culinary school because I wanted to, and I loved it. And I had a great time, and I learned a ton in there. And I teach women now that you don't need to go to culinary school to be a personal chef. But I wanted to do that work at that point. I didn't. The industry was in its infancy, and I thought, I'm a Black woman. I'm gonna be going to people's homes and cooking for them, and I knew the types of homes I was gonna be going into. I wanted to just be as legitimate as possible. So I did the work, and I put that work in, and I've constantly still maintained the curiosity of food and the passion for it. I'm still a student of it. Always, right? Always.
So you're not resting on your laurels. You're still putting in the work. You're still
absolutely
you're still learning late nights, some early mornings.
Yes. I'm reading books on profit and on marketing, on constantly just trying to sharpen the saw.
I was about to say sharpen your tool.
Always. So that's what I would say is second, and then honestly, probably the third I would say is I don't pay attention to other people. Like, I don't compare myself to other people at all. Like, it's just me on my journey. It's almost like I have blinders on, right? Yeah. And because comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
You cannot compare, because even in the curiosity about food and following tons of other chefs for inspiration, you love it. I mean, any person, it's you kind of feel that little, like, gosh, like have a meal somewhere it's amazing. I'm like, what am I even doing? Oh my God! What the heck? Or I'll see something, I'm just like, how did I even think of that stuff? But it's just like, celebrate the other people, celebrate them, and like
celebrate them and honor.
It's like, wow, like that is amazing. But I'm in my own lane, and I recognize that too. So I just never compare myself to other people. I just kind of stayed in my lane and realized that what God had for me truly. Another saying that people just say, but it's really for real. For me. What is for me is literally for me. So me teaching other people, training other people, coaching other people, it's like, go get in business. I've trained so many people right here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
In my same market to do the same thing I do. They're basically training my competitors, but it's no competition.
Yeah. Because ain't nobody Lisa like Lisa can.
No.
When Lisa get in the kitchen, there is no Lisa other than Lisa, and and I'm glad that you said. I didn't know that you were going to say that clearly, but that comparison, it opens the door to so many other things. It opens the door to insecurity.
Yes.
It opens the door to fear. Mm-hmm. It opens the door to doubt.
Yes.
And then that becomes a slippery slope.
That imposter
syndrome that we end up quitting on us. We end up quitting because then we think we're not good enough, and we're not, and so before you know it, we have forfeited our vision. We forfeited our purpose, or we become clones of somebody else's vision and wonder why it ain't popping out for me like it is, because that's the way that Lisa does. How would I look if I come up here trying to Lisa like Lisa's?
Yeah, you can't do it.
I can't do that. You saw how I looked at you. I'm like, what? No,
I can Dr. T.
And nobody can Dr. T the way I can Dr. T.
You know,
and so it comes back to you knowing truly who you are and whose you are.
Yeah.
And that helps you to stay in your lane and do what only you have been designed to do.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
Oh
it is really, for real. It's so amazing. Every day is like a blessing. It's just like humbling. I learn so much like every day because I'm kind of an observer of life, like in a totally different way now. And my relationship with God is just next level.
I mean, and you've done some amazing things. Like you showed me the Guy Fieri and Food Network, and you were named what's the
Charlatan of the Year. Our pop-up was named the best pop-up of that same year, 2022. I'm on my way to Nigeria next week to do a master class for I think it's hundreds of thousands of people that go to this Jidika Food Festival. It's the biggest food festival on the continent of Africa. And I'm doing a master class there on Southern coastal cuisine, being flown out there, honey.
Being flued out, as the girls say.
Put up.
Being flued out.
First class, like Jack Harlow. What? And first class international. I mean, but that's my gift got me. Like, that's crazy to me, right?
And that's what I was about to say. The Lisa, corporate America Lisa, could you have ever imagined that?
I didn't imagine hardly any. I was just trying to pay my rent. You know what I mean? That's my vision was just like
pay my bills.
Pay my bills. Really, that's all I was just gonna be happy with that level. But I stayed open, and just kept walking.
Yeah,
like that first thing he told me which was to turn and walk in the direction. I've never stopped walking in the direction. I don't know how it is, and I tell my son you can't worry about the how and what. You just move in the direction.
Move in the direction,
and then
understand God will course correct you. Yeah. You kind of veer off to the left a little bit too much, or off to the right, or
he just wants you to. You're showing the faith by moving.
That's it.
And then it's like, okay, I got you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want you to take the steps. I'm not gonna let you fall.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But you got to take the steps.
Exactly. Exactly. And any of the bruises or the bumps we hit along the way is actually sharpening us. Because I could. And just some of the things, sugar, some of the things. But now I can look back on that situation, that heartbreak, like you said, that bankruptcy, as being the fire that really fortified, that tenacity, or got you that thick skin to where if somebody says something, it doesn't bother you, or just like when you're cooking. Okay, here we go. We're in the kitchen. When you're cooking and you get burned, say you find something for the first time and you get, burned. It's not that the burn don't hurt, but now you understand, when I'm cooking in this way, this is how my grease needs to be. And it's the same thing when you're walking out, your purpose and your dreams.
That's right.
We're going to get zapped a little bit. There's going to be, but that's not meant to say this is the wrong direction or you've done something wrong. It's that refinement to say you're going in the right direction. Now let me show you what you need to know. Now let me show you, let me strengthen that area. Let me remove that area because I tell the story all the time. My mouth, Lord have mercy. I was that friend that everybody would call and say, hey, call Sprint back in the day. Sprint. Call Sprint and pretend like you were me. And because they messed up on my bill. By the time I got through laying them low, you had a free phone. I had a free phone. Everybody had a friend. I was that friend.
Yeah, you could talk it. Yeah.
My mouth can cut you down and you'll stop and go, wait. Do I need to? But because I didn't know what this was supposed to be used for, it just ran wild. I perverted it. So it took me getting punched in the mouth more than a few times in order for me to be able to respect the gift that God had gave me. So same thing, you had to learn to respect what God had given you in order to be able to use it in accordance to what He wanted you to do with it. So when we hit those hurdles, when we hit that, just it's all training, sugar. It's all preparing you.
And just that point of view alone, that perspective of knowing that in advance, when something comes up, when something,
Absolutely.
it's not a freak out. It's not a,
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, all right.
What you want me to learn?
What we doing? Like, all right. What we doing? Oh, I just need to know, like, what? Okay,
Exactly.
Because I'm standing. Period.
That
right.
When you can't do nothing
When you
else,
can't do anything else, you just stand.
That's it.
I'll wait to hear the direction, but that's just the place I am right now. And it's the reason why can't nobody tell me nothing about God. And I don't have to argue with nobody about it. I don't gotta get no debates about it. You know what I mean? I don't need to quote scripture verse. I don't do any of that.
Yeah, because your life.
It's just
your
me
life reflects it.
and Him. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I would hope and pray. If somebody asks me, I tell them, and I tell my stories all the time.
Right.
But it's just, it gets difficult. But that's why I want to just keep telling my story. I'm not telling anybody what they should do, what they should believe, or anything. All I'm saying is this is my life, this is my journey, this is what's happened, this is what I've realized, this is how we communicate.
Absolutely.
This is how He communicates with me. So that, take it that for what you want. You know what I mean?
And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because
mm-hmm.
there's so many people, of course, that I talk to on a daily that are standing at the precipice of their dreams, of their vision, and they can see it. They're telling it to me, but when it's time to activate, it's like,
yep.
And so I wanted to talk to you so that someone else can hear. Because of course, when you hear from Dr. T, it's like your mama saying something to you, and you're like, oh, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to hear it from somebody that, has done it, is continuing to do it, can show the receipts to say, here's how it has worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted you to come on to tell your story, so that it's not just me saying, hey guys, this really works.
Mm-hmm.
This really works. It really works what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you just lean in, to that. And you said, as you're a coach and you coach other women.
That's right.
Get you a coach.
Yeah.
And I don't care. It doesn't have to be me. It does not have to be me. It does not have to be. And Chef Lisa,
chefs.
She coaches chefs that want to lean into, their passion for cooking, or, this is not a sales pun. This is truly saying, get you somebody that can hold you by the hand to say, hey, let me collapse time for you.
Exactly.
Let me make it so that you don't have to fall into the same pitfalls that I did. Let me show you the blueprint. Let me show you the roadmap.
Yep.
And we're going to tweak this thing so that it works for you, so that you can get there. It's so important. I always say the coach has a coach. The next thing I always say, and I know you will absolutely lean into this too. Who's your tribe? Who's around you? That's why I created the sugars, because I kept hearing my clients say, who are your friends? Can we hang out? I want to hang out with you. That's how I met this one. Hey, come on, let's hang out. Let's, to find like-minded people that can be that iron sharpener, so that we can just have conversations like this. Because this was not scripted. Let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
This was not scripted. This is just me and Lisa being me and Lisa, just talking about all the things. And we talk about do you know how many times she has looked at me and said, Dr. T, hey, I got an idea. You should, and you should, and you should do, and and then vice versa. I'll look at her and be like, ma'am, what about, and what, that iron sharpening. So if you're trying to do this thing by yourself, we don't have enough time for Lisa to go probably down the roll call of people that were alongside you as you made that transition from corporate to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But it is important that you have a tribe around you. Find your people, and it doesn't have to be 50, 11 people. Where two or more gather in my name, there I am in the midst. Saying it can be just a few people that are solid, that that got your back and will continue to spur you forward, and won't look at your baby steps and be like, girl, what you doing? That ain't enough, and will be able to encourage you.
Right.
As you're going along the journey. This is so good. But what's probably going to be better?
The salmon cake.
These salmon croquettes. But I am ready.
Yes, honey.
Eat. I'm ready to eat. Let's eat.
Honey.
Ooh.
Look at that thing.
Look at that.
I just want you to take a little.
Okay.
Yes, you're my guest.
I suppose.
I'm about to just get in here.
Man. Why have I known you this long? And this is the first time.
any of my food.
Any of your food.
That's crazy.
Because I kept missing Maddie's
front
porch.
That's crazy.
If you are in the Charlotte area, Maddie's front porch is where Chef Lisa Brooks, she opens her home. And you come in and you have a home cooked meal with just amazing people, amazing conversations around the table, just like you would on Sunday dinner at your mama's house. Maddie's front porch. And I keep missing it, but I'm not going to miss it anymore because
it's so good. This is one of my favorite things.
Oh my God. Oh, I think I'm going to start mixing the bones.
What was that stuff you was talking?
In my salmon patties.
Well, no bones in there. You don't feel it. And it just mixed all in.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
You'll find a salmon croquette like this in Charlotte. In a restaurant. I mean, it's not.
This is straight out of my granddaddy's kitchen.
That's mama now.
Papa, I think she might have your salmon patties. I think, Papa, you. But
I made it, but I'm just.
So I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
Can you see it?
I can. Can you see it? The bone?
Well, if you don't want it,
you can take it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It just, you're a super.
I'm blessed. But see how I share my blessings? I just share my luck with you. It is amazing. Well, Chef Lisa Brooks, thank you so much for coming on to Hey Sugar and talking with us. Sugar, that is it for today, but come back as always, and we always have some interesting conversations for you. Until next time, Sugar, take care. Bye-bye.